Hello herd, welcome back to the DramaLlama channel. I'm Sean, and today we're diving into the top 10 BL tropes that fans like us can't get enough of. And we're breaking down why these romantic formulas work so well. Whether you're a newcomer to BL or a seasoned fan, there's something undeniably captivating about these classic tropes that, well, they just never get old. Before we get into the video though, hey, if you have a moment, go check out DramaLllamas.com, which is our exclusive platform for BL fans and lovers and all the things. So if you haven't had a chance already, make sure you go over and check out DramaLllamas.com. Now let's get into it. The enemies to lovers trope is one of the most beloved in BL. And for good reason. It's that irresistible push-pull dynamic that comes from two characters who start off at odds with one another, often with sharp personalities and conflicting values. This could be anything from rivalry to open hostility, but over time, their interactions evolve into a deep, passionate relationship. Almost as deep as their feud with one another oftentimes. I'm looking at you, bad buddy. At its core, Enemies to Lovers taps into our love for conflict. Emotional and physical tension creates an exhilarating ride. It's not just about the explosive moments of anger or sharp words. It's about how each character's emotional walls slowly crumble as they begin to understand one another. The animosity between them is built on miscommunication, misunderstanding, or sometimes preconceived notions. As they confront these issues and grow as individuals, they start seeing one another in a new light. And the change from hatred to love feels both powerful and authentic. Whether they start off as antagonistic academic rivals, like in Semantic Error and Bad Buddy, or as explosively volatile, like in Tarn Type and Kiss Me Again, the end result is undeniable. This trope often speaks to societal ideas of opposites attracting, the idea that two people with seemingly nothing in common can build something beautiful once they understand each other's struggles. The push and pull of their internal conflict mirrors real-life struggles and relationships, where differences can often create friction and also pave the way for personal growth and mutual respect. Watching these characters grow together emotionally and romantically makes for a rather satisfying, high-stakes love story. Friends to lovers is a trope that feels especially intimate and relatable. It's the idea that the person who has been there for you through thick and thin, the one you've shared your best and worst moments with, is the one you end up falling for. It's that slow realization that your feelings have shifted beyond just friendship into something deeper, something more romantic. This trope focuses on the beauty of long-term connection. Unlike instant attraction, the friends to lovers dynamic unfolds over time, building a strong foundation of trust, shared experiences, and deep emotional intimacy. The bonds these characters share is really so rich and layered, which makes the transition from friendship to romance feel organic. It's like discovering a hidden depth in someone you thought you knew completely. This gradual build-up allows for plenty of moments of emotional tension, especially when one character realizes the feelings they've been hiding for so long. Series like History 4, Close to You show us how romantic feelings for a friend can hit you out of the blue. While series like My Only 12% and Plus and Minus give us the satisfaction of seeing patience rewarded as unrequited love that is eventually reciprocated. This trope taps into the universal desire for a partner who understands you completely, someone who accepts all of your flaws and strengths. Friends turned to lovers have already seen each other at their worst, so the romance feels more genuine. There's also an emotional catharsis in watching the characters navigate the transition from platonic to romantic, often with the risk of ruining their existing relationship. It's the perfect balance of sweetness and tension, making it a fan favorite in the BL genre. Opposites attract is a classic trope that works well in BL. It typically involves two characters with contrasting personalities, backgrounds, or worldviews who come together despite their differences. The core appeal of the opposites attract trope is the inherent tension that arises from the characters' differences. In BL stories, this contrast often creates dramatic moments that keep the audience engaged. The stark contrast of the characters' distinct personalities provides rich opportunities for conflict and growth. Their interactions are often marked by misunderstandings, challenges, and eventual emotional breakthroughs. Eventually. This narrative tension not only drives the plot forward, but also fuels character development as the characters learn to understand and complement one another. Be it in Cherry Magic, Light on Me, or even Love in the Air, this trope is appealing because it taps into the idea of personal growth through relationships. Conflict is central to storytelling, and the opposites attract trope provides a natural vehicle for conflict. Therefore, the trope provides a rich ground for resolving conflict in an emotionally satisfying way. The eventual resolution, where both characters come to understand and appreciate each other's differences, is often cathartic for us all. It's about breaking down walls and finding strength in each other's differences. This kind of romance speaks to the desire of transformation, where two seemingly incompatible people come together and find a way to make each other better. The fake dating or relationship trope generates all kinds of tension, and it's always a fun ride. In this trope, two characters enter into a relationship under false pretenses, whether for the sake of a scheme to protect each other from external forces, or simply as a way to hide their true feelings from the world. As they go through the motions of a fake relationship, their feelings for one another become more real, and of course, more complicated. Forced proximity is a key factor. When two characters are in a fake relationship, they spend a lot of time together, creating opportunities for emotional vulnerability and a deeper connection. What starts as a pretense often turns into something genuine. As they begin to see each other in a new light, this trope is effective because it lets the characters work through misunderstandings, jealousy, and emotional growth, which makes the eventual revelation of real feelings all the more satisfying. Classics like Gaia Se Película, Lovesick, and Together are highly regarded as essential watches for BL fans, due in part to their effective implementations of this very trope. The appeal of fake dating lies in its tension and release. There's a constant question of will they or won't they, as the characters navigate their feelings under the guise of something fake. It's relatable because many of us have had moments where we pretended to be something we weren't, and watching the characters shift from pretense to reality feels like a natural evolution of their relationship. Power imbalance in BL takes many forms. Boss and employee, master and slave, bodyguard and client, teacher and student. There's so many. There's just so many. At the heart of these dynamics is the unequal distribution of power, where one character holds authority over the other. This creates an inherent tension. as the characters must navigate not only their romantic feelings, but also the societal and professional roles they play in each other's lives. The imbalance creates an emotional roller coaster. The relationship is not just about love, but about overcoming the boundaries that power creates. The less powerful character often feels torn between their attraction and the societal roles that keep them from acting on those feelings. On the other hand, the person with power often faces a moral dilemma. Can they act on their feelings without exploiting the other person's vulnerability? These power struggles lead to moments of tension, emotional breakthroughs, and eventually, mutual respect. Whether it's the bodyguard romance of King Porsche or Where Your Eyes Linger, or the student-teacher dynamic of History 2, Right or Wrong, at its core, this trope taps into the fantasy of forbidden love and the idea that love should transcend all boundaries. The imbalance in power adds complexity to the relationship, forcing both characters to confront their emotions, their values, and sometimes their own weaknesses. It plays on our fascination with how love can grow in difficult, complicated situations. The childhood friends reunited trope is a nostalgic and emotional one. It's about two people who were once inseparable as kids, but for one reason or another, they lost touch. Years later, fate brings them back together, and the bond they shared as children gradually transforms into something more. This trope taps into the power of shared history. There's something incredibly intimate about reuniting with someone who has known you since you were young. The characters don't need to spend time getting to know each other. They already have a deep emotional connection. The shift from childhood affection to romantic love feels natural, but it's also filled with emotional complexity. Reconnecting with someone you once loved in a non-romantic sense can bring up old feelings, insecurities, and even desires. Series like DNA Says Love You, Our Dating Sim, and Time of Fever show how childhood friendships represent a time of innocence and purity. Watching those relationships evolve into romantic love resonates with the idea of fate or destiny. For many, the idea of reconnecting with your first love is something we dream about, making it a deeply emotional and satisfying trope. Forced cohabitation. It's one of the most enduring tropes in BL storytelling, often set into motion by a contract, a shared crisis, or some form of external pressure that leaves the characters with no choice but to cohabitate. And the initial friction between them, whether due to personality differences, conflicting lifestyles, or an antagonistic past, creates a ripe ground for humor, tension, and development as they share daily routines, private moments, and vulnerabilities. Their relationship deepens. Over time, awkwardness gives way to understanding. Frustration turns into affection. And those seemingly mundane moments of cohabitation build a profound emotional connection. Proximity is the key to this trope's success. It forces the characters to face one another in ways they wouldn't if they were just casually dating or seeing each other. In a confined space, they can't avoid their feelings, and the gradual process of working through their differences, learning about each other's quirks, and making compromises paves the way for a slow burn romance. It's this slow progression with all the humorous and tender moments sprinkled in that makes the ultimate payoff, when they finally acknowledge their feelings, so very satisfying. While the trope isn't new, series like Corn Things and Boys Lockdown are just a couple of the many born out of the 2020 lockdown. This trope resonates deeply with fans because it captures the universal experience of getting to know someone up close and personal, especially in a new or vulnerable situation. Fans enjoy the humor, the tension, and the intimacy that naturally arises from forced proximity. There's a sense of satisfaction in watching two characters who initially can't stand one another soften over time and develop a genuine bond. The slow burn aspect of this trope also gives fans time to emotionally invest in the character's journey, making the eventual resolution feel all the more rewarding. It's a romantic fantasy of building something beautiful from unexpected beginnings, which fans find both heartwarming and relatable. The hidden identity or double life trope is one of the most suspenseful devices in BL storytelling. A character's secret, whether it's a hidden past, or an undercover job, or a different persona, introduces a tension that permeates the entire story. The secret creates a constant undercurrent of mystery, and the audience, and sometimes the other character, is left wondering when the truth will come out and what consequences it will bring. The eventual revelation of the hidden identity often leads to a roller coaster of emotions. Shock, betrayal, hurt, and the subsequent emotional journey towards trust and reconciliation. The high emotional stakes during the process of unveiling the truth is what makes this trope so compelling. Hidden identities are a great way to build suspense because they raise the stakes and deepen emotional investment. As the character's secret begins to affect their interactions with others, we as viewers become more and more desperate to know the truth. This tension creates a dramatic rhythm, with the tension rising as the secret becomes harder to keep. And when the moment of revelation comes, it brings a huge emotional payoff, with the character's internal conflict now exposed for all to see. The emotional fallout that typically follows, whether it's feelings of betrayal, confusion, or even fear, adds an emotional layer that keeps the audience hooked. Ultimately, the catharsis of the truth coming to light and the subsequent growth in the relationship is what makes this trope so effective. BLs like Not Me and Manner of Death, as well as the recent GL Pluto, are perfect examples of the tension that arises when secret identities collide with romantic feelings. Fans are drawn to the hidden identity and double life trope because it taps into the thrill of suspense and the catharsis of revelation. They enjoy the emotional roller coaster of uncovering secrets and the subsequent evolution of the relationship that comes from confronting the truth. The uncertainty and anticipation keep viewers invested in the narrative, as they emotionally root for the characters to overcome the tension and achieve resolution. Fans feel emotionally rewarded by the eventual reconciliation, especially when the characters learn to accept each other fully. Stepbrothers.
It's Stepbrother Boyfriend.
Okay.
It's Stepbrother Boyfriend.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, got it.
It's a hashtag.
I got
hashtag Stepbrother Boyfriend. I didn't just make up this hashtag. I mean, I did, but still, it's Stepbrother Boyfriend. I don't know why you're trying to mess with perfection.
I got it.
It's called.
Stepbrother Boyfriend trope revolves around the complicated dynamics of family relationships. In this scenario, two characters become stepbrothers due to one of their parents marrying the other's parents. Obviously. Initially, they are family, but as their relationship grows, they begin to develop romantic feelings for each other. a situation that challenges the typical notion of what a family relationship should look like. The characters must navigate the tension between societal expectations of familial bonds and the illicit attraction they feel for one another. The inherent taboo of falling in love with a family member makes this trope particularly compelling, as the characters struggle with their feelings and the potential consequences of pursuing a romantic relationship. This trope plays on the excitement of forbidden love. The bond between stepbrothers is meant to be familial, yet the characters' romantic feelings turn everything upside down. This push and pull dynamic between the bonds of family and the pull of desire creates a dramatic, emotional roller coaster. There's often an element of guilt or shame tied to these feelings, which only intensifies the tension. At the same time, the forbidden nature of the relationship makes the eventual romantic payoff even more satisfying, as the characters break societal taboos and choose to follow their hearts, no matter the consequences. This trope resonates because it touches on themes of identity, belonging, and the way love can complicate relationships. Feelings that fans can often relate to, making the romantic tension feel all the more poignant. The excitement of a forbidden love story, where the stakes are high and the characters are forced to confront their deepest desires, is universally appealing. From the light and playful dynamics of History, Stay Away From Me, and History 2, Crossing the Line, the more emotionally driven explorations of I'm the Only One, or the divisive depiction in History 4, Close to You, it's hard to argue, but Taiwan does it best. The Soulmates / Destined lovers trope taps into the fantasy of perfect, unbreakable love. In this storyline, two characters meet, and almost immediately, there is an undeniable connection between them. This connection might seem otherworldly, like they've always known each other, or there's an intense emotional and physical bond that feels destined. The characters are drawn together by fate, and no matter what challenges or obstacles they face, they are meant to be together. This trope celebrates the idea of a love that transcends time, place, and circumstance, and often carries a sense of inevitability. Their relationship may start with an instant spark, but it grows deeper as they face life's challenges together, reinforcing the idea that they are truly fated. The appeal of the soulmates or destined lovers trope lies in the fantasy of perfect love. Many people yearn for the certainty that there is someone out there who is their perfect match. Someone who will always be by their side, no matter what. This trope creates a sense of comfort and reassurance that no matter how hard things get, the characters will always find their way back to each other. The inevitability of their connection provides an emotional depth that resonates on a universal level. There's something profoundly heartwarming about the idea that two people are always meant to be together, whether it's destiny, fate, or a pure, unexplainable connection. It satisfies a deep emotional desire for a love that can withstand any obstacle, making the resolution of the story feel both poetic and fulfilling. Series like Until We Meet Again, I Feel You Linger in the Air, and The Sign show that soulmates and destined lover stories resonate because they offer a comforting fantasy of perfect and unshakable connection. This trope speaks to the universal longing for a love that transcends all obstacles. The hope that true love is something fated and inevitable. Fans become emotionally invested in watching the character's journey unfold, knowing that no matter how difficult life becomes, they are destined to be together. The emotional payoff of this trope is incredibly powerful and satisfying because it validates the belief that love, no matter how complicated, is ultimately worth fighting for. And there you have it, 10 of the most beloved BL tropes and why we here at DramaLlama can't get enough of them. Whether it's the tension of enemies becoming lovers, the sweetness of childhood friends reuniting, or the thrill of soulmates finding each other, these tropes speak to universal desires and emotions. If you're as obsessed with BLs as we are, be sure to hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments which trope gets your heart racing. And of course, come join us on DramaLlama, the ultimate platform for BL fans. Whether you're looking to discuss your favorite series, discover new ones, or connect with other fans, DramaLlama is the place to be. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.